Hey everybody, it is, what have we got here? The 26th, 26th of February, Saturday. I'm going to just kind of start off with kind of a mind-blowing experience yesterday. We went into Hollywood as the immediate family and sat down in a screening room and got to see a pretty completed rough cut of the documentary movie that Denny Tedesco has made about us. And when it ended, we were all just kind of sitting in silence. It's like amazing. It's really an amazing film. The amount of people we had no idea how this was being assembled, how, the direction, the focus, or anything on it. So this was our actual, after probably almost 4 years of them working on this, three to three and a half, something like that. This was our first inkling of what was going on, and seeing all the different people that had been interviewed for this movie, and the really amazingly kind things that everybody said, and kind of seeing our careers of the past half century laid out the way Denny, and only Denny can really do this, because his Wrecking Crew movie was astounding, and this is really right there on par with that. So I'm still kind of taken back by this entire experience. And we all kind of looked at each other afterwards and we just said, we're just happy to still be working musicians. And the idea that this documentary film has happened is amazing. So they have a lot of little things, to touch up in the film. And then there's still like a lot of licensing and things that have to take place. And so it'll probably be the end of the year before it's released, but they're going to be doing film festivals and all of that with it. But I'm still kind of just taken aback by the entire experience of seeing our lives all kind of laid out like that. It's a pretty remarkable experience. So I'm anxious to see it again, just to now, because we were kind of taking in the whole energy of the film. Now it'd be really fun to go back and really watch it again for details and the like. But thank you, Denny and Greg and the entire production team who did this. I mean, it was so much fun to sit in the theater with the band and Denny and the producers, the editors, everybody, and just sit and really watch it. And have it cranked up and hearing the music and all this stuff. They did some really fascinating things. So I'm excited for this, and I'll keep you posted. And once it's actually going to be available, we'll be doing a lot in promotion for it. And we're trying to finish up a new album, which I'm not sure if that will be released in advance or if we're going to hold on to that until the film is ready to go. But we're really looking forward to when they do premieres of it, of actually going and playing at the premieres, so people can see that this is still a viable band, and this isn't just nostalgia looking at our history, but the fact that we're still working our asses off. So it's exciting. It was really an amazing day. Musically, I was digging around and I found a project that I had worked on. These tracks, I think, are a couple of the ones I played on. Wilton Felder and I swapped off some bass duties on this album, and I can't find credits, but I think these tracks sounded like ones I had played on. But it's an artist named Kenny Young, and the album is called Last Stage for Silver World from 1973. Kenny was originally born in Jerusalem, and then his family moved to the States. And as time went on, his career evolved, and when he was like 20, he became one of the writers in the great famous Brill Building. And he and his writing partner, Artie Resnick, they wrote Under the Boardwalk. So nice credentials there, for the Drifters, and so many people have covered that over the years. And he primarily really had worked as he did not do a lot of recording, but did a lot of writing and had a lot of songs placed, and really, really deeply involved in that aspect of the business and the writing and production. He in 1980, I took some notes, and this gets really deep. I mean, this is where I always encourage people to look people up and sit and read, because there's a lot of information about this guy's environmental work. He became an environmental activist starting around 1980, and had done tremendous amount of work, and did projects that were fundraisers for the environmental causes. Oh, hold on, what is going on? Oops, I accidentally touched the trackpad. This stuff is so sensitive, but it makes up for my lack of sensitivity. But he did remarkable work for environmental causes. And sadly, he died on his 79th birthday in 2020. So not that far long ago. But we've got a couple of songs here that we did. And it's interesting. I hadn't heard this stuff practically since we recorded it. It's a whole different vibe here. But this was produced by Kenny Young and Robert A. Pear. And Robert is who I did Neil Sedaka with, and Howdy Moon, and Robert did our first couple of Section albums, and he's one of the better engineers I've ever worked with. And this was engineered by Robert, and who's that? Oh, and Phil Brown also worked engineering on this, and we recorded it at Clover Studios, where Robert really did most of the work that I did with him was at Clover. And it's an amazing lineup of players on here. It's myself, and then on some of the other tracks, Wilton Felder from the Crusaders, who was mostly worked as a sax player in town, but he was a great bass player too. Russ Kunkel, Jim Keltner, and Mike Kelly were all the drummers involved in this. Bobby Hall and Gary Coleman were the percussionists. The guitar lineup is Dean Parks, Louis Shelton, Dave Cohn, Wayne Perkins, and Mark Warner on guitar, Joe Sample, Tom Canning, Clarence McDonald, Richard Kerr, and John Bundick on keyboards, and Jim Horn, Bobby Keys, and Jim Price on horns. And then got Susan Trainer, Albert Hammond, Andy Silver, Andy Kim, Carol Carmichael, Linda Carey, Rita Jean Bodine, and Gerald Garrett were all the background singers on this project. But again, this is called The Last Stage for Silver World. And this first track I'm going to play is called Amanda in a Silver World. And it's a real, you'll hear. Here we go. Tension. excuse me. I think the strings were done in London. I think I saw that in one of the credits, but it was kind of tucked away. And here's one. This whole album feels like a concept album. It was real interesting listening through tracks. This track is called "Last Year of the Blue Men." So here we go. One more, and this is Kenny Young.
It's the last year of the blue men who watched our part to heaven, giving way to young ones in 1997 who follow in their footsteps and wear the breathing masks and answer all your questions and ration out your tasks. There will be time enough for love, room enough to play, for planting Pisces babies, for passing time away. There will be time enough for thought, room enough for words that float like pillow feathers and sing just like the birds. Stock up your provisions, devise a shell rock shelter, a jovial ceiling smile down on every room you enter. Paint windows in your gardens and windmills on your doors, and lock away the memory that daddy died in war. There will be time enough for love, room enough to play, for planting Pisces babies, for passing time away. Tune in your number for a colorblind, trading tomorrow's cake for yesterday's pie. It's the last year of the full moon that shines apart to heaven, but we still play the moon songs of 1957. With files of pleasure photos recall us to our prime. Rockabye us, lullaby us back to the good old times.
That was a funny thing that YouTube did there, just jumped into another video. It's just interesting to me. I mean, hearing these two songs and then realizing this is the guy who co-wrote Under the Boardwalk. You know, people's careers really just, it's a fascinating journey when you start checking all these people out and see the paths they've taken. And certainly with Kenny, it was really fascinating to see his passion about the environment and the things he focused on in most of his career. And I applaud him for that. It's remarkable when some people really, they dig in and they go for it like that. So Kenny Young, and again, last stage for Silver World from 1973. It was kind of weird yesterday. I got home from the screening, and I was like in this kind of a daze and really pumped and deeply moved by really the work that's been done, really kind of on our behalf by Denny and the whole production team and the people involved in this film. And I came home and I was just checking. I hadn't seen any emails or anything, so I was checking this channel yesterday just to see the responses to Sally Kellerman's passing. That is really still heartbreaking. And man, did I suck in the trolls yesterday, telling me because of my comments about Ukraine and stuff. Man, my head is so far up my ass and all this stuff, and it kind of supporting Trump supporting Putin, and I mean just all kinds of stuff. When I make comments on here, I'm just reflecting what's going on. But then when you start to be attacked by these people that come on here, people write back to me, go, man, don't let them get to you. They don't really get to me. I mean, I'm aware of the world I live in, and the people that cohabit with it. But when they come on and they really start calling you out and attacking you and giving shit, that's the beauty of. And I haven't done it that much, but that's the beauty of blocking. So yesterday I took about 4 people off of the channel that I don't recall ever seeing before on here, but they were vicious in their commendation. Sorry, I'm tired this morning. Of my response to the horrors and the atrocities that viewing on television, seeing these families being torn apart and separated, and apartment houses being hit with missiles and stuff. I mean, I cannot comprehend the purpose of these atrocious acts, and then seeing all of the people that are gathering on the streets in Moscow and St. Petersburg and other cities in Russia, that when they're finally getting information about what's going on are horrified by it, and they're protesting and putting themselves in great harm's way. But I've got friends, David Gabb, who I've recorded with, and he's a dear friend, is from Georgia, not Georgia in the States, but Georgia over there. And he's been writing, on his concern for family and friends and the world over there, because Ukraine is just one step away from taking out his people on this march that this madness is on right now. But man, if you come on here and you start giving me a ton of shit for caring about the world I live in, you're going to be gone. I mean, there's not even going to waste time for discussion. I'm willing to have discussions with people about issues that come from other sides of an issue if they want to have a reasonable discussion. But when it just turns into like is coming at you, but coming for your jugular and all this, bye, and you're out of here. And it's the same people that are still on, I still get the same stuff when I put out my thanks every day to the healthcare workers, especially, who are trying to save people's lives in hospitals and working so hard for future vaccinations, because there's going to probably be other variants and all this stuff going on. But the people that come on here, I mean, I've always been concerned about the world I live in, and the people that come on and tell me that I should just stick to music and shut up about everything else. Part of what makes music to me wonderful is the community of humanity, and how we it brings so much for all of us, and it allows us to come together in such a positive way when we have music. But part of your response in music to the world you live in is the world you live in, and that creates the music you make. And so I just fair warning, if you're going to come on here as a troll and start really going at it, you're going to be just gone. I'm not going to waste time with this. There's too many interesting, positive people that have come to this network that I care deeply about. And not all of them agree with what I do, but we've come to a common ground to be able to have civil discussions So that's just that. So I'm going to wish everybody a great weekend. I just got sent another track to work on for somebody, so I'm going to do that today. And I talked to Ian Pace from Deep Purple, and he's got a couple more songs he's going to send me to do for him on his solo album. And like that, so things are chugging along here. So just take good care. But man, my heart so goes out when I see this footage of these families and what they're going through over there. It's just quite staggering in this day and age that we're seeing some of the worst crap going on in Europe since World War II. And there's been a lot of conflicts in Europe over these years, but this is pretty astounding, just to march into another country and decide it's going to be gone and it's going to be yours. Whatever. Okay, I'll see you all tomorrow. You just take good care. Again, next Wednesday is our Clubhouse live stream, and next Saturday, a week from today, is our one-on-one FaceTime and Skypes. So take good care, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.